Breaking. Trump's power move is now under fire. The very foundations of executive authority are being shaken as a series of controversial orders, signed by President Donald Trump, face an unprecedented legal onslaught. These directives, once symbols of decisive action, are now at the heart of a fierce judicial battle. The nation watches, holding its breath, as courts across the land dissect the legality of these far-reaching commands. What began as bold policy initiatives has rapidly escalated into a constitutional showdown, with implications that could redefine the presidency for generations to come. The executive orders in question are not mere policy tweaks. They represent significant, and some argue, alarming assertions of presidential power. Critics argue these actions stray dangerously into the realm of retribution, using the might of the executive branch to settle scores or silence dissent. The outcomes of these legal battles will undoubtedly shape the contours of presidential authority moving forward. At the epicenter of the current legal firestorm is a particularly audacious executive order that specifically targeted the prominent law firm WilmerHale. This directive urged federal agencies to take punitive actions, including the suspension of security clearances for WilmerHale employees and the outright cancellation of government contracts with the firm. The timing and target were significant, as WilmerHale is widely recognized as the former professional home of Robert Mueller, the special counsel who investigated allegations of Russian interference in the 2016 election. Critics argue the executive branch was weaponizing its power against entities that took on causes or represented clients disfavored by President Trump. This strikes at the heart of the right to counsel and the principle of equal access to justice, fundamental tenets of the American legal system. The legal challenges against these executive orders have been swift and, increasingly, successful. The most recent victory for opponents came on May 27, 2025. U.S. District Judge Richard Leon, an appointee of George W. Bush, delivered a scathing ruling against the executive order targeting WilmerHale. Judge Leon declared the order unconstitutional and ordered it struck down in its entirety. He stated, "For the reasons set forth below, I have concluded that this order must be struck down in its entirety as unconstitutional." This ruling is part of a broader pattern, extending what MSNBC News has described as a losing streak for the former president regarding such executive actions. This consistent judicial resistance highlights a growing consensus within the judiciary that these executive orders represent a significant overstep of presidential authority. The legal battles surrounding these executive orders have ignited a firestorm of public reaction, further highlighting the deep divisions within the American populace. Supporters of the president view these orders as necessary measures to combat perceived enemies and drain the swamp. Conversely, critics see these executive orders as a dangerous slide towards authoritarianism, an abuse of power that threatens democratic norms and individual liberties. The implications of these legal showdowns extend far beyond the specific cases or the individuals involved. They touch upon the very definition of presidential power in the United States. Each ruling sets a precedent, potentially recalibrating the balance between the executive branch and the judiciary, and indeed, Congress. As the dust begins to settle on some of these initial rulings, with more challenges undoubtedly on the horizon, the nation is left to ponder a profound question. Did Donald Trump, in his pursuit of policy and power, overstep the sacred bounds of his office? Do you think Trump overstepped? Comment below.